Did you know these humans can break their bones and just grow them back? Like it's nothing. Commander Vox Tarragon tapped his claw against the observation window, leaving a small scratch that the self-healing glass immediately repaired. Fascinating little meat bags. His assistant, Science Officer Pelora Zinn, rolled all three of her eyes simultaneously. Commander, with respect, every species in the Galactic Confederation can heal bone fractures. But we are not discussing some miraculous ability. But not like humans, Vox countered, his violet skin flushing a deeper purple with excitement. They don't just heal. They become stronger at the break point. Can you imagine? A biological system that improves through damage? Our research vessel had been orbiting Earth for nearly 6 solar cycles now. The humans below had no idea, of course, and our cloaking technology was far beyond their detection capabilities. We observed them as they went about their short, chaotic lives, utterly unaware that the greatest scientific minds in the galaxy were studying their every move. I'm Krill Novastar, Chief Xenobiologist of the Confederation Science Fleet. My job is to document unusual species, and humans are, without question, the most unusual I've encountered in my 378 years. May I remind everyone, I interjected, noticing how the conversation was devolving into another Vox monologue, that we have a mission briefing in 10 minutes? The High Council is expecting our quarterly report on human potential. Do we have anything significant to present? Pelora raised a tentacle. The resilience tests are showing unprecedented results. And I've never seen anything like it. Elaborate, I said, trying not to sound too eager. The High Council had been pressuring us for months to find something, anything, that might justify the astronomical budget they'd allocated to this mission. Well, Pelora brought up a holographic display. We've been subjecting human test subjects to various stressors without their knowledge. Nothing harmful, she added quickly, noting my expression. Just everyday obstacles, traffic jams, broken appliances, minor workplace setbacks. And Commander Vox leaned forward, his antennae twitching with anticipation. They should be breaking down. By all galactic standards, the level of daily stress humans endure would drive most sentient species to collapse. But they just keep going. That's it? That's your big discovery? They keep going? The commander's antennae drooped with disappointment. I waved a fin to silence him. Pelora, are you suggesting humans possess some form of psychological resilience that exceeds our understanding? Not suggesting, Chief. Confirming. Her hologram shifted to display brain scans. You look at these neural pathways. When faced with adversity, humans don't just endure. They adapt. They create new mental frameworks. Their brains physically rewire themselves to accommodate new challenges. Commander Vox scoffed, spraying luminescent saliva across the conference table. So they are stubborn. Big deal. The Zorblaxians of Sector 7 are stubborn, and they are still stuck in the Stone Age after 15 million years of evolution. It's more than stubbornness, Pelora insisted. It's a form of mental evolution that occurs within a single lifetime. No other species we've encountered can do this at the speed humans do. The ship's AI interrupted our discussion with a soft chime. Apologies for the intrusion, but specimen 7429 has been activated as scheduled. We all turned to the main viewing screen as it flickered to life, displaying a human female waking up in her dwelling. Ah, Lisa Turney, I noted, checking my data pad. 34 Earth years. Occupation, emergency medical technician. Selected for her high-stress occupation and history of personal adversity. Yes, Pelora nodded. Yesterday we arranged for her ground transportation vehicle to malfunction, her cooling unit to fail, and her work schedule to be doubled. By our calculations, today should be the breaking point. We watched as Lisa stumbled out of bed, looking exhausted. Her dwelling was uncomfortably warm due to the broken cooling system we'd remotely disabled. She fumbled for her communication device, likely checking the time. Crap, 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 she shouted, jumping up. Not again. Audio translation suggests she's distressed about being late, Commander Vox observed unnecessarily. We continued watching as Lisa rushed through her morning routine, cursing colorfully when she discovered her food storage unit had also mysteriously malfunctioned overnight. It's another of our tests. All of her perishable items were spoiled. Perfect, Pelora murmured, taking notes. Multiple stressors compounding simultaneously. Her cortisol levels must be off the charts. Lisa slammed her fist on the counter, took 3 deep breaths, then grabbed a dry food item from a cabinet before rushing out the door. Outside, her transport vehicle sat uselessly with its engine parts mysteriously scrambled, our doing, of course. Now comes the breakdown, Commander Vox predicted eagerly. No transport, no food, late for work, dwelling uncomfortable, she will call in sick, return to her sleeping platform, and exhibit classic signs of defeat. But Lisa Turney did something unexpected. She laughed. When aft. It wasn't a happy laugh. It was sharp, almost bitter. But it wasn't defeat. The universe really wants to test me today, huh? She said to no one in particular. Then she pulled out her communication device and began rapidly pressing icons. What's she doing? Vox asked, leaning closer to the screen. Arranging alternative transportation. Pelora replied, sounding impressed. She's adapting. Quickly. Within minutes, another human arrived in a vehicle, and Lisa climbed in. They exchanged currency, and the vehicle departed. Fascinating, I muttered. We've dismantled her routine entirely, yet she's problem-solving in real time. It could be an anomaly, Vox suggested. Let's check specimen 8013. The screen split to show another human, a male named Raj Patel, dealing with his own set of carefully orchestrated disasters. His dwelling's water system had been compromised, his job interview had been cancelled without notice, and his companion animal had been given a harmless but messy digestive stimulant. Yet there he was, cleaning the mess, calling to reschedule his interview and arranging for a portable water solution, all while comforting the distressed animal. This makes no sense, Commander Vox declared, pounding a claw on the table. By all galactic standards, these stress levels should be incapacitating. Are humans immune to despair? Not immune, I said thoughtfully. Look at their faces. They are clearly distressed, but they are not shutting down. Pelora nodded excitedly. That's exactly it, Chief. Humans don't require optimal conditions to function. In fact, she brought up more data. Our long-term studies suggest they actually perform better under moderate adversity. Better? Vox repeated incredulously. Their problem-solving abilities, creativity, and even their social bonding increase under pressure, Pelora confirmed. It's as if hardship activates dormant abilities. The ship's AI chimed again. The High Council is connecting for your briefing in 1 minute. We quickly organized our data, preparing to present our findings to the Council. The main screen switched to the imposing view of the Galactic High Council chamber, where 12 ancient beings from the founding species peered at us with varying degrees of impatience. Report, Chief Xenobiologist Novastar, Grand Counselor Drev demanded, his crystallized body glinting under the chamber lights. After 6 cycles of observation, please tell us you've found something to justify this mission's existence. I stepped forward, feeling oddly nervous. Esteemed council members, we believe we've identified the human's most valuable trait. It's not their technology, which is primitive. It's not their physical strength, which is unremarkable. It's not their intelligence, which is average by galactic standards. And to get to the point, Novastar, another council member, grumbled. It's their resilience, I stated firmly. Humans possess an extraordinary ability to adapt to adversity, not just as a species over evolutionary time, but as individuals within a single lifetime. I gestured for Pelora to display her findings. As the data appeared before the Council, I explained humans face more daily setbacks in a week than most Confederation citizens experience in a decade. Their planet is hostile, their societies chaotic, their bodies fragile. Yet they not only endure but seem to thrive on challenge. Grand Counselor Drev leaned forward, his ancient face unreadable. Are you suggesting we value them for their ability to suffer efficiently? Not exactly, I replied carefully. I'm suggesting that in a galaxy where most advanced civilizations have eliminated hardship through technology, humans represent something we've lost, the capacity to grow through difficulty. And why should this interest the Confederation? Another counselor asked dismissively. Commander Vox surprisingly stepped forward. Because, honored counselors, our civilization is stagnating. We've eliminated all challenges, removed all obstacles, and in doing so, we've stopped evolving. Humans remind us of what we once were and what we might need to be again. The council chamber fell silent. I stared at Vox in surprise. For all his irritating qualities, he occasionally showed genuine insight. Elaborate, Grand Counselor Drev commanded. The Praxis Rebellion, Vox said simply. The council members stirred uncomfortably at the mention of the violent uprising that had nearly toppled the Confederation 3 decades ago. We barely survived that conflict, Vox continued. Our citizens were unprepared for hardship. When our technology failed, when our comfort was threatened, our society nearly collapsed. Humans face similar threats every day and consider it normal. You are proposing we learn from them? A counselor asked incredulously. A pre-warp civilization? I'm proposing we need their perspective, Vox replied. Their resourcefulness. Their adaptability. While this discussion continued, the ship's proximity alerts suddenly blared. I checked my console with alarm. Chief, our navigation officer called urgently. 3 unidentified vessels have appeared in Earth orbit. They are not Confederation. The Council transmission was immediately replaced by a tactical display, showing 3 massive ships of unknown design positioning themselves around Earth. Impossible. Commander Vox exclaimed. Earth is a restricted observation zone. No other galactic powers have clearance to approach. They are not responding to identification requests, the communications officer reported. And they are deploying smaller craft toward the planet's surface. I felt a chill run through my body. An invasion? Of Earth? But why? Humans have nothing of value except their resilience, Pelora finished quietly. The tactical officer's voice rose in alarm. The unknown vessels are scanning our position. They've detected us despite our cloaking. Evasive maneuvers. Commander Vox ordered. Maintain observation distance, but protect the ship. Our research vessel lurched as it changed position, narrowly avoiding an energy beam from the nearest alien ship. They are targeting us specifically, the tactical officer reported. These aren't random attacks. Who are they? I demanded, clinging to my station as the ship rocked from a near miss. The computer finally produced a match from our database. Ships identified as harvesters, technological scavengers who collect biological traits from pre-space civilizations. They are going to harvest humans for their resilience, Pelora gasped. They must have intercepted our research data. Commander Vox slammed his claw on the emergency beacon. All crew to battle stations. This is not a drill. He turned to me, his expression grim. Chief Novastar, our mission parameters just changed. We are no longer observers. The Prime Directive prohibits interference with pre-warp civilizations. I reminded him, though my hearts weren't in it. We all knew what harvesters did to planets they targeted. The directive has exceptions for external interference, Vox countered. If we don't act, humans will be reduced to lab specimens for harvester experiments. He turned to tactical. What's our combat readiness? We are a research vessel, Commander. Our weapons are minimal. The ship rocked violently as a direct hit landed on our shields. Shields at 60%. The tactical officer reported. We can't take another hit like that. Can we warn the humans? I asked desperately. How? Pelora asked. Their global communication systems are primitive, and we have no established contact protocols. I watched in horror as the harvester vessels deployed hundreds of smaller craft that began descending toward Earth's major population centers. On our monitors, The humans continued their daily lives, completely unaware of the threat materializing above them. We need to contact the Confederation fleet, Vox decided. Request immediate military assistance. The nearest combat vessels are 3 days away at maximum speed, communications reported grimly. The harvesters will have processed half the human population by then, Flora said quietly. I stared at the view screen, watching as Lisa Turney arrived at her medical facility, rushing inside to begin her shift, blissfully ignorant that her species was facing extinction. Next to her feed, Raj Patel was smiling with relief as his rescheduled job interview was confirmed. Such simple lives, such ordinary problems, and such extraordinary resilience in facing them. There's another option, I said slowly, an idea forming. If humans are as adaptable as our research suggests, spit it out, Chief, Vox urged as another blast rocked the ship. We tell them the truth. We break contact protocols and warn them directly. They will panic. Pelora objected. Their civilization will be thrown into chaos. Perhaps I agreed. Or perhaps they will do what humans always seem to do when faced with impossible situations. Commander Vox's eyes widened with understanding. Adapt and overcome. 50 harvester ships now entering Earth's atmosphere, Tactical reported tensely. I took a deep breath. Prepare a global transmission. All frequencies, all languages. It's time to see if humans truly are as resilient as we think they are. As our communications officer prepared the transmission, I wondered if we were making a terrible mistake. Would humans collapse under this ultimate stress test? Or would they demonstrate that the very quality we'd been studying was powerful enough to save them? Either way, we were about to find out. Global transmission ready, Chief, our communications officer, Lieutenant Kaz Brightfield, announced. His scaled fingers hovered nervously over the broadcast controls. But I must formally register my objection to violating the non-interference protocols. Objection noted, I replied, watching the harvester ships descend through Earth's atmosphere. And overruled. Commence transmission. Kaz hesitated for only a moment before pressing the sequence. Transmission active. Broadcasting on all Earth frequencies in 237 local languages. Throughout the planet below, human communication devices suddenly activated without warning. Television screens, radio receivers, computer terminals, mobile devices, every piece of technology capable of receiving a signal began broadcasting our message. People of Earth. This is Chief Xenobiologist Krill Novastar of the Galactic Confederation. Your planet is under attack by an alien force known as the Harvesters. This is not a fictional broadcast or entertainment program. Repeat. This is a real emergency. Hostile forces have entered your atmosphere with the intention of capturing and experimenting on your population. You have approximately 42 of your minutes to prepare. We will provide what assistance we can. Well, that should cause absolute chaos, Commander Vox commented dryly, watching the monitors as humans everywhere stopped and stared at their devices. Either they will dismiss it as some kind of prank, or they will panic and destroy themselves before the harvesters even land. Have some faith, Commander Pelora chided, though she didn't sound particularly confident herself. Our research suggests humans respond well to clear warnings. Our research never included alien invasion as a test parameter, Vox retorted. I ignored their bickering, focusing instead on our tactical situation. What's our weapons status? Research-grade defensive capabilities only, our tactical officer, Merrick Stardust, reported grimly. We can perhaps disable one small harvester vessel before they overwhelm us. And the harvesters' projected landing zones? Merrick displayed a global map on the main screen. Based on their descent trajectories, they are targeting major population centers: New York, London, Tokyo, Mumbai, Sao Paulo, Lagos, Sydney. Can we intercept any of them? I asked, already knowing the answer. Negative. There are too many, and our ship isn't designed for atmospheric combat. Commander Vox pounded his claw on the console in frustration. So we've warned the humans, but we can't actually help them. Splendid. Look. Pelora suddenly pointed at our monitoring feeds. The humans are responding. On screen after screen, we watched as humans reacted to our warning. But instead of the mass panic we'd expected, something else was happening. Yes, there was confusion, even fear, but also a remarkable organization emerging with stunning speed. In New York, police vehicles were positioning themselves in defensive formations. In Tokyo, civilians were moving in orderly evacuation patterns rather than chaotic stampedes. In London, military personnel were deploying with remarkable efficiency. They believe us? Vox sounded genuinely shocked. Not all of them, Pelora noted, highlighting various pockets of confusion and disbelief. But a surprising number are responding as if the threat is real. Because humans have been preparing for this scenario for over a century, I realized aloud. Their entertainment media is saturated with alien invasion narratives. They've mentally rehearsed this exact scenario countless times. You are suggesting fiction has prepared them for reality? Vox asked incredulously. I'm suggesting their imagination is another facet of their resilience, I replied, watching with growing admiration as humans worldwide began coordinating their responses with remarkable speed. They've been problem-solving this scenario hypothetically for generations. Lieutenant Kaz looked up from his communication station. Chief, we are receiving thousands of response signals from Earth. They are trying to communicate with us. Put them through. Prioritize military and governmental authorities. A cacophony of human voices suddenly filled our command center, speaking dozens of languages simultaneously. Our translation matrix struggled to keep up. Is this really happening? Who are these harvesters? What are their weaknesses? How many ships? What weapons work against them? They are not asking if it's real, Pelora observed with surprise. They are asking for tactical information. I nodded to Kaz. Patch me through to respond. You are live, Chief. People of Earth. I began, trying to sound calmer than I felt. The harvester species possesses technology far beyond your current capabilities. However, they have several vulnerabilities. Their environmental suits cannot withstand your planet's higher oxygen levels for extended periods. Their sensory systems are overwhelmed by certain high-frequency sounds. Most importantly, they expect no resistance from pre-space civilizations. Your best advantage is their underestimation of your capabilities. As I spoke, our monitors showed human military leaders rapidly disseminating this information. Within minutes, sound-generating equipment was being deployed to defensive positions. Environmental analysis teams were configuring atmospheric composition sensors. Defensive strategies were evolving in real time. I've never seen a species adapt so quickly to new information, Pelora marveled. Harvesters will make planetfall in 15 minutes, Merrick warned, interrupting our amazement. And they've noticed our transmission. 3 vessels have broken off to attack our position. Evasive maneuvers. Commander Vox ordered. Chief, we've done what we can for the humans. We need to focus on our own survival now. I nodded reluctantly. As much as I wanted to continue guiding Earth's defense, our ship was in imminent danger. Our vessel lurched as it executed a sharp evasive pattern, narrowly avoiding the first volley from the approaching harvester ships. The command center's lighting switched to emergency red as our shields absorbed a glancing blow. Shields at 40%, Merrick reported. 2 more hits and we are defenseless. Return fire, Vox commanded. Target their propulsion systems. Our ship's modest defensive weapons launched a counterattack, landing a direct hit on the lead harvester vessel. It spiraled out of formation but quickly stabilized. Minimal damage to target, Merrick reported grimly. Our weapons aren't designed for combat against armored vessels. Another blast rocked our ship violently, throwing several crew members from their stations. Shields at 15%. Merrick shouted over the blaring alarms. 1 more hit and we are finished. Wait, Pelora called out, pointing frantically at her monitor. But something's happening on the surface. Despite our dire situation, We all turned to look at the main screen. The harvester ships had begun their landing sequence at major population centers worldwide, but instead of finding helpless, panicking crowds, they were meeting organized resistance. In New York, massive speakers had been hastily assembled around the landing zone, lasting high-frequency tones that our sensors confirmed would be agonizing to harvester neural systems. In Tokyo, environmental systems had been reconfigured to pump extra oxygen into the landing areas. In London, reflective surfaces had been positioned to amplify solar radiation, another harvester weakness I'd mentioned in passing. "They are using everything we told them," I whispered in amazement, and improvising beyond it. We watched as the first harvester troops emerged from their landed vessels, clearly disoriented by the unexpected countermeasures. They stumbled, their movements jerky and uncoordinated as human defensive tactics took effect. "Impressive," Commander Vox admitted grudgingly, "but ultimately futile. The harvesters still possess overwhelming technological superiority, and as if to emphasize his point, our ship shuddered under another attack. Warning lights flashed across every console. Shields failing. Merrick reported, "Brace for impact." We all grabbed hold of the nearest secure objects as the final harvester blast approached. But the devastating impact we expected never came. "What happened?" Commander Vox demanded, looking around in confusion. Merrick checked his sensors, then rechecked them with evident disbelief. The attack was intercepted. By Earth-based weapons. "Impossible," Vox scoffed. "Human weapons can't reach orbital range with any significant power." Yet the tactical display confirmed it. From multiple points on Earth's surface, high-energy beams were now targeting the harvester ships in orbit. Most weren't powerful enough to cause serious damage, but they were disruptive enough to force the harvesters to redirect their attention. "I thought humans didn't have energy weapon technology," Pelora said, watching the display with wide eyes. "They don't," I replied slowly, "at least, not deployed weapons. But they have research facilities exploring various directed energy concepts. They must have repurposed experimental technology." Lieutenant Kaz's console lit up with incoming transmissions. "Chief, we are being hailed from Earth." "Put it through," I ordered, still stunned by this unexpected development. A human voice, speaking English, filled our command center, Confederation vessel. "This is General Diana Thorne, United Earth Defense Coordination. We've redirected experimental satellite defense systems to provide you cover. Can you hold position for 7 minutes while we bring additional systems online?" I exchanged shocked looks with my crew before responding. "United Earth Defense Coordination? You've organized a global response already? Necessity accelerates cooperation," the general replied crisply. "We've established emergency protocols linking military commands worldwide. Can you hold position?" Commander Vox leaned toward the communication array. "This is Commander Vox Taragan. We can maintain position with the covering fire you are providing, but our shields are critically damaged. What exactly are you planning in 7 minutes that could possibly help?" "We are reconfiguring our global communications satellite network into a coordinated electromagnetic pulse delivery system," General Thorne explained. "If your intelligence about harvester technology is accurate, a properly modulated pulse should temporarily disable their systems." I stared at the communication panel in disbelief. "You are converting communications satellites into weapons based on information we provided less than an hour ago?" "Yes," she replied matter-of-factly. "The theory checks out, and we don't have the luxury of extended testing. 6 minutes remaining until system alignment." Commander Vox muted our transmission temporarily. "Can they actually do this?" he asked me, his typical sarcasm replaced by genuine curiosity. "But I have no idea," I admitted. "It's theoretically sound, but the coordination required is immense. They would need to synchronize hundreds of satellites with precision timing. Human infrastructure wasn't designed for this," Pelora added. "They are repurposing civilian technology for military application in real time. I've never heard of any species attempting such adaptation so quickly." 5 minutes to alignment, General Thorne's voice announced, clearly having re-established communication. On our monitors, we could see the battle unfolding on Earth's surface. The harvesters were recovering from their initial disorientation and beginning to deploy more troops and equipment. Human resistance was fierce, but increasingly outmatched as the technological gap became apparent. "They can't hold out much longer," Merrick observed grimly. "The harvesters are adapting to their countermeasures." For 4 minutes to alignment came the update from Earth. The harvester ships in orbit had now shifted their full attention to the human defensive systems, methodically targeting and destroying the makeshift weapons that had been providing us cover. "Our position is becoming untenable," Commander Vox warned. "We should withdraw while we still can." I shook my head firmly. "We stay. The humans are fighting with everything they have. We won't abandon them." 3 minutes to alignment. Another harvester blast rocked our vessel. Without our shields, the structural integrity was beginning to fail. Hull breach on Deck 7. An engineering officer reported. Emergency containment activated. 2 minutes to alignment. On Earth's surface, the tide was turning decisively against the human defenders. Harvester troops were advancing in major cities, their superior technology overwhelming even the most determined resistance. 1 minute to alignment. "Incoming," Merrick shouted as 3 harvester vessels moved into attack position around our ship. "This is it," Commander Vox said quietly. "It's been an honor serving with you all." 30 seconds to alignment. The harvester vessels charged their weapons, preparing for a coordinated strike that would undoubtedly destroy our damaged ship. 15 seconds. I closed my eyes, offering a silent apology to the humans we'd failed to protect. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pulse activated. A blinding flash illuminated our view screens as hundreds of satellites around Earth simultaneously released a precisely modulated electromagnetic pulse. The wave expanded outward, washing over the planet and reaching into orbit. The effect on the harvester fleet was immediate and dramatic. Their ships suddenly went dark, weapons powering down, propulsion systems failing. The vessels that had been about to destroy us drifted harmlessly past, their occupants presumably as confused as they were angry. "It worked," Pelora exclaimed in disbelief. "They actually did it." Confederation vessel, General Thorne's voice returned, sounding slightly strained but composed. "EMP successful. Harvester technology disabled planet-wide. Estimated recovery time for their systems is 17 minutes based on observed reboot sequences. We are mobilizing globally to capture landing parties while they are vulnerable." I found myself momentarily speechless, a rare condition for a xenobiologist. Commander Vox had no such limitation. "General Thorne," he responded, genuine respect evident in his voice. "That was impressive. The Confederation's nearest military vessels are still 47 hours from your position. Can your people hold out until then?" "We will manage," she replied with what I was learning was characteristic human understatement. The pulse worked better than expected. "We are already capturing harvester troops and securing their vessels. Their technology will be educational." "Be careful," I cautioned, finding my voice. "Harvester biotechnology includes significant self-destruct capabilities to prevent exactly this scenario." "Already discovered that the hard way," General Thorne confirmed grimly. "We've lost teams in New York and Beijing. We are adapting our approach." Of course they were. In less than 2 hours since first contact, humans had organized a global defense, repurposed civilian technology into weapons, countered an overwhelmingly superior enemy, and were now developing protocols for safely capturing alien technology. "Incoming transmission from Confederation Command," Lieutenant Kaz announced. "Priority Alpha." The main screen switched to show Admiral Jorax Zenith, Supreme Commander of Confederation Forces. His ancient, scaled face was set in its customary scowl. "Chief Novastar," he began without preamble, "our long-range sensors detected a harvester fleet at Earth. Report." I straightened, trying to look professional despite our damaged bridge. "Admiral, the harvesters attempted to raid Earth, presumably having intercepted our research on human resilience. We warned the humans of the threat, breaking non-interference protocols under Emergency Exemption Clause 47B. I expected a reprimand, but the Admiral simply nodded. And the current situation? The humans, I hesitated, still processing what I'd witnessed. The humans have temporarily disabled the Harvester fleet using an improvised electromagnetic pulse weapon developed and deployed within an hour of learning about the threat. Admiral Zenith's expression would have been comical under other circumstances. They what? What? They've also begun capturing Harvester troops and technology, seemingly intent on reverse engineering it. The Admiral was silent for a long moment. Let me understand this correctly. A pre-space civilization with no prior knowledge of extraterrestrial life not only survived first contact with a Harvester raiding party, but is now actively capturing their technology? Yes, Admiral, I confirmed. And they organized a global defense force from scratch while doing so. Another long silence. I'm dispatching our fastest vessels to Earth immediately. Not just military ships, I want a full diplomatic contingent. Chief Novastar, you are hereby authorized to establish formal first contact with humanity, effective immediately. Admiral? I questioned, surprised by this unprecedented authorization. The humans haven't achieved faster-than-light travel. The admission protocols are being waived by my direct authority, the Admiral interrupted. Any species that can repel a Harvester raid with technology cobbled together in an hour has earned accelerated admission consideration. His expression softened slightly. Besides, do you really think humans will refrain from reverse engineering Harvester technology now that they have it? He had a point. Based on what I'd seen today, humans would likely develop warp capability within years rather than centuries by studying captured Harvester tech. Understood, Admiral. I will establish diplomatic contact. After the transmission ended, I turned to my crew. Prepare for surface landing. It seems we are making history today. Are we sure this is wise? Commander Vox asked, though his tone lacked its usual sarcasm. Humans are clearly more volatile than we anticipated. That's exactly why we need to establish relations now, I replied. Their adaptability is unparalleled. In the right circumstances, that makes them valuable allies. In the wrong circumstances. I left the sentence unfinished, but everyone understood. A species that could improvise an effective defense against Harvesters in an hour was not a species the Confederation wanted as an enemy. As our damaged vessel prepared for historic first landing, I found myself thinking about Lisa Turney and Raj Patel, our unwitting test subjects. How had they responded to this crisis? Had their everyday resilience translated to this extraordinary situation? I didn't have to wonder long. As we descended through Earth's atmosphere toward the designated landing zone in a place called Geneva, our monitors picked up emergency response activities around the world. And there, coordinating medical teams in New York, was Lisa Turney, looking exhausted, stressed, and absolutely in her element as she treated both human and alien casualties. And Raj Patel? He'd somehow found himself as an impromptu translator, his linguistics background proving unexpectedly valuable in establishing basic communication with captured Harvester troops. Ordinary humans doing extraordinary things when circumstances demanded it. Their superpower wasn't flashy or immediately obvious, just a quiet, persistent ability to face impossible odds and keep going. As our ship touched down on Earth's soil and humans surrounded us with a mixture of caution and curiosity, I prepared to step outside and make official what these remarkable beings had already proven beyond any doubt. Humanity didn't need our protection. They'd earned their place among the stars through the one trait no other species had perfected, the ability to bend without breaking, to transform stress into strength, it's to face the unknown and adapt. Their forgotten superpower wasn't forgotten anymore, and the galaxy would never be the same.